Hello guys, this is Jerry speaking. Welcome to Book Reviews, episode 14, and today we read you chapter 13, the Intermission, the book. And let's read it now. So we got, shall we? So we got. Monday, chapter 13, Intermission. Excuse me. Monday, November 10th on PBS, Sesame Street, sponsored by the letters W, S, and E, and the numbers 2 and 3. To see that first episode today, and the 4 we're seeing once in the Sesame's first week, to be transmitted back into 1969, which I saw on YouTube back in 2014. The man, Matt Robinson's score, with the models got sideburns and the dandelion soft afro steps on stage. You can practically hear Sly and the Family Stone singing. You can make it if you try, or watch Clarence Williams III, the actually Lynch from the groupie ABC's cop show, The Mod Squad. Robinson informed the center during the debut week. The cast member who seems not most of the East addressing children in homes, addressing the children on set. He was a smooth and confident tour guide, answering both street wise, cool, and paraphrasing well. Excuse me. His welcoming lines in episode 1 are the pigtail girl in the purple striped dress and red socks. Sally is holding his hand in the stroll of Sesame Street with Toots, Talisman's harmonica rendition, and as Aquaman, the scene is probably familiar at the time of every kid's version of an urban block, where taking a hand and of a friendly stranger who doesn't seem at all unusual. Sally, you'd never seen a street like Sesame Street, Gordon assured the neighborhood child. Everything happens here. You're gonna love it. The merger message is clear. Everything can happen on Sesame Street except have stuff. And the statement meant to the stuff and everything is the first time viewers of Sesame Street adults, children, even the young actress in front of the camera, but to the least one preschool child in Philadelphia. The scene caused embarrassment, confusion, and tears. For weeks, Holly Robinson has been missing her father. The has been working long hours in the show in New York, catching quick weekend visits where he could. Seeing him with another child with almost more than Holly can hear. She thought Sally was talking to her daddy. So Matt's been wife Doris. Things only become more tormented minutes later when Holly saw her daddy kiss a woman who wasn't her mother. This is really through her, said Doris Robinson. She even more than what Matt said. Hi, my name is Gordon. Holly said his name is not Gordon, his name is Daddy. In time, it would all make sense to Holly in the early 1970s would make our own first acting appearance on Sesame Street, long before she played police officer Julie Hobbs on 21 Stump Street in the pop culture's nexus that Sesame Street connections are often established in the less than 6 degrees. In episode 1, Gordon is dressed in the ash gray suit and tours the Lester professional. These are his work and trends for Gordon as a teacher in secondary school, located beyond the sound of honking car horns that play as the audio backdrop. Thanks to a car canceled factory meme, Gordon is home early and available to take his walk with Sally. However, they met cheerful Bob in his blue cardigan. Then Mr. Hooper, who there says, "Welcome, new Sally." And then Gordon's wife, Susan, Jones Cooney's manager, then Gordon and Susan he married is carried out almost into extreme royalty law, plays Susan as an ominous bride. Wow. Who sadly take Gordon's brief case from him proven open window into their brownstone. Will you come back and see me later and have some milk and cookies? See Sally once he sends that with fresh bake and not slicing them to purchase in the supermarket. She, for the first few minutes of the opening segment, things appear quite cooperative and calm on Sesame Street, a place in the cooperatively better cared for than the neighborhood, despite send your kid to the ghettos their summer public service message to their George Storm. But suddenly, the normally it's interrupted by Big Bird's crash bang entrance. He is a cheerful, imaginary bird with a tiny head and then ever tinier brain with a breadful hand straight. The first appearance of Big Bird brings to mind an introduction of Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie. It was so prominent and unrealistic, so draft and forgiven, just as was the case of Mickey in 1928. Big Bird was on the first appearance of Work in Progress. Gordon would then introduce us to Colonel Spade's other character, the Talks Orange, Rude, Oxygenity, Positivity, Monster Officer Grouch, which is an urgent neck, and arch attitude. Oscar seems like a kind of neighbor who would keep your baseball laying in the yard. He pops up from more than frequently during the first week when Big Bird. In one episode, Oscar threatens to leave Sesame Street and goes missing, which I saw on YouTube back in 2014, like I said. But his departure was like too vague, then suddenly subsides. Gordon is concerned by his absence and goes in search for Oscar, who sends himself home to Sesame Street, gift wrap in a cardboard box with a cardboard box. Okay. Far more exertion set and charming art and the animated and live action films produced by Jim Henson with the Moogs, Treasure, Perversion Art, Out, Harmonica, and the Pinwheel style graphics. Henson and other films barely explode with cheerful, creative joy. Seen several times during the opening week in the stressful jingle for the number 3, sung by Gaggle Children. Free, 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 let's sing a song of free. How many is free? Henson himself, however, gaggles free balls as the numbers 1, 2, 3, boing. Wow. Also repressed in a frozen image of himself. His son was grocery uncombed hair, counts 3 peas on the plate. Wow. Then in the finale, as a clumsy parachute chef sends 3 birthday cakes flying a parachute right on the 3 Stooges. Wow. There comes the lesson that grew out on the summers of '68, a film of children playing Paul the leader that covers the concept of ups, down, over, under, and through. That lesson is occurs during a live action scene that sends Bob over the score in Susan's apartment to the sense that hanging on paid, and he searched for a must-clean spot on the wall. Next comes the slapstick comedy team of Buddy and Jim. Okay? Two dumbos who attempt to hang a picture or use a spike and a balloon instead of a hammer. Okay, that's a sad idea. Stone, who was Dominic support Dave Connell, had a knowledge of lessons of logic might be taught by bombers like Buddy and Jim. And test screens, children were squealing and screaming in response to the segments, calling out instructions to the door, shout about how much to bring an iron board through the kitchen's door. Buddy and Jim saw in half. Lastly, when that didn't work, the bash guards in the door frame to make room for the board. Excuse me. Susan Ben Pleasley took up the measures of teaching classical classifications, singing Joe Raspo's guessing game song, One of These Things. I felt bored that free code clause of the number code 2 and the quadruple of letter W, which I picked W in the real those days, by the way. But these were some of the dead spots in the first 5 episodes. The series covered Chris group in the first week. Its pace break, its mood, cheery except for Oscar, and the very controversy that those shows provided a foundation for the production staff to build upon, and because the series is funded by for full 430 episodes, there was no special cancellation hanging overhead, which is good enough. Still, nearly everyone associated with this project probably mainly last only one season or 2, which is a bad idea. And they understood it wasn't just a little TV show on PBS. The network used to have the hum and find it on the dial. They also do know that the same founders who have come up in the $8 million might not be able to pull another rabbit like that hat off of the pears hats. Wow. So that we have decided. So they decided to have fun that lasted and give everyone everything they had. Not all one of them was making the kind of top salary above at the commercial networks. But then again, the publishers on paying of the job on the networks were testified to take off of years of lives, excuse me. Working on this startup that was a Sesame Street provided by freedom and license to create, which is some of the going contemplation of his own. So that was chapter 13, the Intermission of the book. What do I think about the book, chapter 13? That was amazing. Well, we have about 5 more chapters left to go, and one more these intermission apology left of the book, and I'll wrap things up. But anyways, guys, that wraps up for book reviews episode 14. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be Ripley's Believe It or Not episode numbers 57 through 59. Until next time, it's LukeJ62895's, goodbye, peace out, baby. We get more videos, guys, very soon. Till then, Jefferson out. See ya.